2004, my father, George Namkung, accomplished one of his childhood dreams of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, East Africa. However, it wasn't somebody 19,000 feet that would be what would change his life forever, but it was what he saw at the bottom of the mountain.
On my first visit to Tanzania, I had an opportunity to visit a preschool, and when I learned what their conditions were, I was thinking in the back of my mind that this was a social problem that I simply could not ignore. But I also realized how overwhelming this problem was. I realized what the kids needed, and that was they started the day with a weak cup of tea, walked great distances to school, only to arrive at school to find that there was nothing to eat or drink for the rest of the day. And it proved to be a hardship that I just could not ignore. Prior to the school lunch program, the young kids would become lethargic, tired and sleepy around lunchtime. The older kids would sneak off campus looking for roots and berries to eat, or sneak into the local village looking for food or begging for food. This was their typical school day until Kids of Kilimanjaro arrived in the scene. We started off by providing lunch to the youngest children first, namely the preschool students who were in dire need of nutrition and food, as they had gone without this for some time now. And we're currently at a point where we're supplying lunch to these preschool students, and we currently provide this program to 20 schools. We've expanded the program to include 20 additional elementary schools. The parents and the administrators in the local communities have all begun to further appreciate and value what education means to these kids. And the school lunch program provides them a means to achieve their educational goals and to realize that this is really a matter of survival, and without the school lunch program, the kids would face a very, very difficult future full of hardship.
At 12, we get lunch. I think lunch is good because if you eat lunch in the classroom, you can hear the teacher well and you can understand what she or he is doing. Because when you haven't eaten, even the body feels bad because you have no strength again.
The number one asset of any country is, of course, their children. And I'm happy to say that I've noticed a remarkable change in the attitude and the appearance of these children. They have these beautiful big brown eyes, gleaming white teeth, wonderful smiles, a happy disposition and attitude. And the school lunch program has made a major improvement in their outlook towards life, their interest and commitment to education, and the children are just generally much happier, more energetic, and more attentive in the classroom. At first I thought the children would just gulp their lunches down, eat them as quickly as possible, but I realized that they themselves realize this is their main meal for the day. They will savor their lunch like a fine snifter of cognac or brandy. When they get back home, unfortunately, they're back in a situation where there's very little to eat. It is their one singular main meal for the day, and it means everything to them and to their parents. Prior to the school lunch program, there was no kitchen because there was no lunch. But now we have a makeshift kitchen, and we usually have a local mom or one of the teachers and a couple of the students prepare lunch. It's typically cooked over an open fire in this big iron pot, and all the ingredients go into this pot, and it takes about 2 hours to cook this meal. And it consists of beans and or rice, corn, sugar, and fresh milk. And each teacher comes up to the makeshift kitchen with a big plastic bucket. The teacher is given their ration for the classroom. The teacher then takes the bucket back to the classroom and serves lunch to the kids in either a plastic cup for the preschool students or on a plate to the elementary school students. In Africa, we know that there's a law of the jungle, which is the survival of the fittest. And also in the classroom environment, the kids are in a very competitive setting because the government can't afford to provide the number of middle schools and high schools and colleges and universities that this country needs. So only a certain percentage can make it to the next level after passing a graduation exam at the end of the school year. So the kids realize that their futures are at stake, and it's a very competitive environment, and they cannot be as successful as they need to be without food on a daily basis. So the school lunch program has provided them an extra boost to have this energy to gain as much education as possible, because in this society, education is everything.
We've seen testimonials of what goes on in these schools. But until my recent visit to Tanzania, to these schools, I was never able to fully understand what this was all about. Being in the schools with my father, with the school headmaster, with the teachers, and with our donors who have come along with us on this trip.
Each and every day that we spend here is a blessing to all of us, and it is something to be enjoyed and treasured very much. I certainly couldn't do this without the support of my family, friends, and very kind and generous donor friends. But the main underwriting concern that they have is, what about corruption in Africa? Unfortunately, there's corruption everywhere. I want to assure you that, first of all, we do not work with the government in a direct manner. We work with them in a partnership manner where they do support this program and enable us to operate in this country in a successful manner. And so we have built strict accounting and financial controls in place. We send the money on an as-needed basis to support the number of children that are in the program at that time.
If you want to see what Tanzania is all about, I encourage you to come here. Look around me. It is amazing, beautiful surroundings. The people are the most hospitable and kind and caring that I've ever witnessed around the world. And I encourage you to come and see it, because once you walk into these schools, you will realize and you will have an overwhelming sense of responsibility, and that we need to do something, and we cannot stop here.